here at the Best Western Plus today on hotel that the comedians stay at. Okay. And they've done a lot of remodel here and a beautiful lobby. Hi, we're here at the beautiful remodeled Best Western Plus Hotel on GWA, where the comedians stay, with this week's headliner, Monica Nevi. Hi, Monica.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So what have you been doing this last year?
So many things except comedy. No, it's been a lot of this, it's been whatever we could do to get by. And so I did a lot of Zoom shows and, I focused a lot on my YouTube, which I was able to put out new videos, but also do some live streams on there too. And just waiting until we could get back and do some live stuff, which I'm really excited to be doing again.
I'm in the lobby here. I thought, it might be interesting if there's maybe there's a spy here who'll come through here.
Looks nice.
Something like that. So, so yeah, probably I'm kind of anxious to get back to the motel life, on the road. But.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it's been I've been doing stand-up for over 10 years, and it's been about 6 that I've been full-time. So it was a lot of hotels and traveling, and some nights are not good and some nights are really nice. You get to stay in a hotel. I actually feel pretty comfortable in hotels, which is maybe not healthy, but that's just what I'm dealing with. So I like hotels.
Yeah, it's funny. There was an old one that it was a comedy show, and they based some of it on Kennewick, and they stayed at the island there. And have you ever seen that? And then it was at Jack Diddley's. They had some performances at Jack Diddley's. Did you ever?
I mean, I remember hearing of it.
Tired and broke.
I've had everything in storage for the last 6 years.
I turned off the air conditioning. I heard a brown water leaking onto my bed. It's the color of the water.
If anybody said to me, "You're a road comic," I'd be like, "Yeah, that's how it's done. You go out on the road, tell people jokes."
There's an arrogance people have against road comics, which irritates me.
A real road comic works in cities that even MapQuest doesn't know.
I'd like to think it's a pretty decent combination of the two. I talk a lot about my life and what's going on, and because that's what I'm, dealing with all the time. But I do, that's a fun part about travel, is that I get to see these places that I might never not go otherwise, on purpose at least. So I like, learning things and talking about it a little bit, but when it comes down to, most of my material is about my life and what's going on, and which honestly has changed a lot in the last year. So what I'm writing now is maybe different than what's on the album I put out this last year. And I'm excited to do it live again because people haven't heard it,
What's the farthest you've ever been away from the Northwest doing comedy so far?
I went to England a couple years ago, and I did shows in London and Liverpool. So it's probably the farthest. Yeah.
As soon as you said that, it reminds me of that Jerry Seinfeld commercial where he goes and does England and nothing translates.
Right. They have a very dry sense of humor, and I actually kind of like it though. So London was really pretty normal. It's a big city, so it's pretty normal. When I got to Liverpool, it was like I couldn't barely understand their accents. Like they were speaking English, but it was really tough for me. So somebody was talking to me after the show, and I thought he had asked if I had been to Arizona, and I was like, "Yeah, I've been to Arizona." And what he said was, "You looked nervous." And I was like, "Oh, that's not even close to what he said." And I just tried to answer, and yeah.
Some people like it too. I've been paying, if any of my employees once they get fully vaccinated, they bring their card and we pay them $40 too.
Oh, nice. A little incentive.
Yeah, my idea was to what if I got 100% vaccinated? Right now we only have about 80 employees maybe, but I could advertise that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can put it on.
You're not going to get sick from our employees.
Right.
Last week the feature was Adam Lucky. Do you know Adam?
I do. Yeah.
So my host had a little trouble on Friday night, and Adam gets up there and just tears into it. It's so awful and so funny at the same time.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of crowd work situations. There's a joke on my album about something that had happened at at Jokers, just because it's I don't know, the people, like, I'm not afraid to talk to them, I guess. Not that I'm afraid to talk to people normally, but just in general, kind of nice people, but really like, hardworking people. And I like that. And so I've had some fun, like, crowd work stuff go on at Jokers, just because I feel like it's a very calm conversation with the audience sometimes, where they're just like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll listen to you, then you listen to us, and then we, like, okay.
You're not gonna scorch any of my audience members.
No, oh, never, unless they're being mean to me, which is rare also. No, we have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything's outdated, but I put 2 albums out at the end of last year, and there was stuff on there that I like, but I've just been doing for a long time, and was excited to get, not rid of it, but have it be immortalized, be on an album, and then I can focus on doing all this new stuff. So there's plenty of old stuff, and it's funny because as you keep going, sometimes you forget about the older stuff that you stopped doing, and then I had to kind of bring it back up to record the album. And then, you go and listen to it, and I'm like, oh, that is a fun joke. That is a good joke. Like, look at me. I was writing so many years ago.
Final thing, since we're at the hotel here, all your travels before, was the worst hotel, motel, condo situation that you ever had?
There's been plenty of interesting, I guess would be the way to say it, interesting accommodations. Let's see, maybe it was probably 6 years ago. I went on tour for 3 months where I just booked a lot of one-nighters and went for it. And this was not before I should have been, but before, I could probably convince venues or just do a better job, I guess, producing a show. And so it's very common when you're on the road, especially as a younger comic, to just stay with other comics. And you would say, even if you didn't know them, somebody in that scene would be like, oh, this is where comics normally stay. They have an extra bedroom or whatever. And I was in Alabama. I was in Huntsville, Alabama, which was a good show. But we stay at the comics house. That's a pretty common thing at the comics house. And it's like the messiest, like, I don't even know how to explain it, where the hallway was like, they had to make a path with all the clothes and stuff and like move it. And then there was like dogs just hidden in the clothes everywhere. And like you'd take a shower and there'd be like this much water on the bottom of it because the drain didn't drain. And it was just, it was it was gross, I guess is what it is. They've had a few situations like that where then, you go and work for a club and they're like, oh, we got you at this hotel. And you're like, yes, good. I was glad.
Well, that one sounds just like another Thursday night in Alabama to me.
Right. Yeah. Well, they didn't notice. That's where they lived. So they're fine with it. Yeah. And then, some hotels aren't the best, but I've had some where you're like, oh, there was clearly blood on this. And then they tried to bleach it out. And now it just looks like blood that's been bleached. I was like, well, I'm not going to use that blanket, but okay.
like a crime scene that they tried.
Yeah, definitely.
So folks, Monica's one of the rising stars of comedy here in the Northwest, and you can catch her now, or you can pay $100 in Las Vegas in about 2 or 3 years. So
yeah,
I'll catch her this Friday and Saturday, 8 o'clock, and we'll see you then, Monica.
I'll see ya.
Can I talk about the road?
Absolutely.
I watched your first movie, and I would every once in a while when I missed going on the road. There's something nice about it.
I love people that say road comics are hacks. Some of them are.